All right, so I'm gonna play tag team with Adam on this one because I'm gonna talk about Ghost of Yotei, but we have a slightly different take on this one. Ghost of Yotei planned on PS5 in 2025, and I believe that it would be exclusive for some time. I think Tsushima was, and arrived on Steam a good 2 years after at least.
Latest.
Developed by Sucker Punch and published by Sony. Sony has a very good nose these days for good games. Of course, remember that Ghost of Tsushima has sold over 10 million copies and lost Game of the Year to Last of Us 2, which was quite disappointing because for a lot of people like me and I think Adam, Ghost of Tsushima really deserved it. But, so Ghost of Yotei is Ghost of Tsushima 2, but the thing is, and I'm sure you have seen it on the PlayStation State of Play, we are not talking about that sequel, right? We are talking about 300 years later. So Ghost of Tsushima was in the 1200 and something. Ghost of Yotei will be in 1603, and it's very specific for a reason. I'm going to talk about this later. It's going to star a female lead named Atsu, and the actor playing Atsu is actually quite famous. If you know your gaming actor, it's a lady called Erika Ishii, who was played role in Apex Legend, Destiny 2, and more recently, Dragon Age Veilguard. So it's called Ghost of Yotei because we're going to be in the area around Mount Yotei in what's today called Hokkaido, but at the time it was named Ezo, different time, right? And if you like geography, it's north of Hakodate and southwest of Sapporo, to be very precise. So our story is in 1603, which is the very first year of the Edo era. Edo is being the old name of Tokyo, or the Tokugawa era, because the old Edo period has been managed, I would say, reigned over by the Tokugawa family. But just for something which is very interesting, because I wasn't aware of this actually, this area, Mount Yotei, the north of Hokkaido, the north of Japan, wasn't part of Japan at this time. Because if you have seen the trailer, you say, you're out of Japan, you're not in Japan here. That's true, actually. Because at this time, so Hokkaido, it's an island north of Japan. And Japanese had a few cities or a few settlements, if you will, in the very south part of the island, but that's it. And they had at least one noble family named Matsumai. Yeah. So basically, there was the noble family who was here to try to protect the Japanese settler and try to settle down this new frontier that was basically the far west, so say the far north of Japan at the time. It was it was not Japanese. And even the population in the area, I believe they are called the Ainu. The Ainu, by the way, which is a very famous tribe because you have seen it if you like manga. You have seen it in Shaman King. You have seen it in Golden Kamuy more recently. They come quite often. As soon as you talk about Hokkaido, it's very easy to refer to the Ainu people, which ethnically speaking are absolutely not Japanese, right? Different ethnies are indigenous to this area. So exactly, this game is. Oh, I want to mention Star Wars Outlaws, but I'm gonna see. Sucker Punch communication manager describes the game like this, right? We wanted to maintain the core pillars established in Ghost of Tsushima, which are playing the wandering warrior in feudal Japan, even though it's not Japan really, offering freedom to explore at your own pace and highlighting the beauty of the world. First time actually for Sucker Punch to do a game for PlayStation 5. So if you recall Ghost of Tsushima, it was absolutely beautiful for PS4. So that's the base set we're waiting for Yotei, that it's absolutely beautiful for PS5. We really hope it will be, and that's something that they're very likely working on. Even though if I look at the trailer, it really looked like the previous game. That's just a trailer on a movie on game. So they are taking this core pillar, and of course, naturally, you're gonna have new gameplay, new mechanics, new weapons, and the whole lot. So basically, that's it on the gameplay. I'm gonna leave this part to Adam, but if you like the historical part, please come and discuss with me in the comments. I really love history, and Japanese history is absolutely fantastic. It's really great. So if you know a bit more about this area, that's where Yotei is, the Ezo place before it's named Hokkaido. Please come in the comments. Let's talk. I'd love to hear about it.
Okay.
And Adam, if you have anything to say on the gameplay,
Oh no, I
it's
got
up to
plenty
you.
to say about the gameplay. I'm so excited for this. I was waiting for a Ghost of Tsushima. A lot of people are disappointed though, because a lot of people really wanted to continue the story of Jin. And frankly, I didn't want that because I felt like his story was told. He was the ghost of Tsushima. He was the protector of Tsushima. And it would make sense that his motivations would be to stay there and make sure to stay behind the scenes and make sure that the people were treated properly and make sure that the Mongols didn't return and all that. So it made a lot of sense for him not to leave the area. So him leaving, I felt wouldn't have made a lot of sense. So I was really hoping for a new protagonist, probably a new time period, and we got both of those and a new location. And I was really hoping for all of those things. So I couldn't be happier with all of that. And, yeah, it says that she's taking up the moniker or the role of the ghost. So, I'm really hoping that what we're getting is not an Assassin's Creed thing where Jin started the Order of the Ghost or whatever, and she's a race incarnation. In my personal hope is that the ghost has become this urban legend thing, and throughout time, different people are going to go against the authority or whatever, and that they're going to slowly build the legend of the ghost. And so it's technically all these unconnected people that all their deeds are being connected to this one central kind of mythic figure. That's what I'm hoping, mostly because I think that actually would increase the chances of the just what you can do with a game because you can have the fallen samurai and Jin. You could have a lot of people are saying that was it Atsu is a samurai, but maybe she's not. It doesn't explicitly say she is. She's being hunted by Ronin, so she could have been just some random person who happens to know how to fight. She might not have been from a samurai family. We don't know. So you could have, and this is supposed to be. They're saying that this is an underdog vengeance story. So if she was a samurai, I don't think she would really be the underdog here. So I'm thinking maybe she isn't actually a samurai. And I think that's a great thing because then you can have the fallen samurai and Jin. You could have the hunter who, hunts people like what it looks like she might be doing. You could have a person who's like a doctor who's working behind the scenes and helping people. So I think that having the ghosts not be connected to each other, but rather just having people's deeds being attributed to this kind of mythic figure is, to me personally, more interesting because we already have Assassin's Creed and we have the Order of Shadows or whatever they're called, right? So I don't think we need another game for that. I think we can do this a different way. But I am really excited too because it looks like we're getting new weapons. That was one of my only complaints in Ghost of Tsushima was that I wish we had more weapon variety. And we see Atsu, she's dual wielding. She's holding two katana, or rather, probably a katana and a wakizashi probably. She's dual wielding swords. There's one part where she seems to be using the fire ability, which Jen did do, but she seems to be doing it on a very long sword, which would mean that could likely be a Nodachi. We see what's this other weapon called? I always forget the name of it. A Kusarigama. So we see that's the sickle with the chain and the weight on the end of it. We see her using that. We see her using a matchlock musket. So we're seeing a lot of new variety here. I'm super excited about that. I personally really hope we get a pole arm of some form, maybe a Yari or a Naginata. That's personally what I would really love to see. And she has an instrument. And then Jin was always had his flute with him, and he played his flute. They really fleshed it out in Iki Island, did some stuff with it. She's got a what do they call it? The shamisen. So she's got her instrument too. Maybe she's a traveling bard of some kind. Maybe she was an entertainer or something and then ended up killing somebody who tried to do something bad to her, and that's why she's being hunted. I'm hoping they incorporate that because she's always got it on her back in the trailer. So I'm hoping they incorporate music more. So I'm super excited about this. I'm really hyped, but the one thing I really hope they do is give us another Legends as well because Legends was just amazing. The multiplayer. Really hope they give us another Legends or we get another multiplayer thing. So I could not be happier with this reveal. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And I know a lot of other people were wanting something different, but this is exactly what I was hoping for. So I could not be happier with the reveal of Ghost of Yotei.